Here is a common objection that people make. This one's not worded very well, but it says, tithe is to the priests. No priests, Levites. Christians are all priests. The objection is that in the Old Testament, the Levitical priests received tithe, but now in the New Testament, it is we Christians who are the royal priesthood. So therefore, we don't need to pay tithe because we don't have priests who minister in the sanctuary. But this is not true, because even the Levite priests themselves paid tithe. Read Numbers chapter 18, which says, "Speak to the Levites and say to them, when you take from the children of Israel the what? The tithes which I have given you from them as your inheritance, then you shall offer up a heave offering of it to the Lord, a tenth of the tithe, and you shall give this to Aaron the priest." So the objection is false, that because we are a royal priesthood now, then therefore we don't need to tithe, because even the Levites themselves paid tithe. And it's also not true that there is no longer any sanctuary, because the Bible says the true sanctuary is in heaven, and that Jesus is our high priest. We have such a what? Such a high priest, who is seated at the right hand of the throne of the majesty. Where? In the heavens. A minister of the what? Of the sanctuary and of the true tabernacle, which the Lord erected and not man. So not only did the Israelites return tithe to the Levitical priesthood, but even the Levites themselves paid tithe to the high priest. And just as there was a sanctuary and high priest then, there is also a sanctuary and high priest today. In fact, in the New Testament, the book of Hebrews, chapter 7, the argument is made that the priesthood of Melchizedek was proven to be greater than the priesthood of the Levites, that not only Abraham returned tithe, but also, read this, the Levites who were the descendants of Abraham, which of course begs the question, if Christ, as the high priest of this exact same order, does not receive tithes, then how? How is it proven that Christ is greater than the Levites? Even the Levites themselves, who received the tithes, paid tithe through Abraham. The priesthood of Melchizedek is described as a perpetual priesthood that receives tithes. If Jesus has become the high priest of this exact same priesthood that receives tithes, then why should Christ not receive tithes? The author of Hebrews chapter 7 is very carefully and very deliberately presenting the evidence and structured argument that the priesthood of Melchizedek is superior to the Levitical because he received tithes from both Abraham and also the Levites. So, if Christ, as the high priest of this exact same order, does not receive tithes, then how? How is it proven that Christ is greater than the Levites? The argument is this: Melchizedek received tithes, therefore he is greater. So then, how can it be said that Christ is also greater if he does not receive tithes? See my video on Hebrews 7:8 to learn more. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a nice day.